Imagine a world where vehicles are designed to tackle the extraordinary, a place where size, power, and ingenuity collide. Today, we're taking a ride through history to explore Britain's largest, most iconic lorries. Prepare to marvel at the mechanical giants that have conquered both the road and our imaginations. When Scamell debuted its 100-tonner in the late 1920s, it was a milestone in heavy haulage. Think of it as the Goliath of early lorries, created to solve an enormous logistical problem. The locomotive manufacturer Kitsons needed a reliable way to transport out-of-gauge steam engines from Leeds to Liverpool. Enter Ernest Marston of MRS Limited, a Liverpool-based haulage company who teamed up with Scamell's engineering heavyweights, Percy G. Hugh and Oliver North, to design a groundbreaking solution. Here's what made this truck so remarkable. At the time, the largest vehicle in Scamell's lineup could carry 25 tons. The leap to a 100-ton capacity was an engineering feat of its own, achieved within just 8 months. And the spec? The 7,094cc petrol engine produced 86 brake horsepower, an impressive feat for 1930. Later, a Gardner diesel engine upgrade would increase output to 105 brake horsepower and fuel efficiency from roughly 0.7 miles per gallon to 4 miles per gallon. Still thirsty, but a big improvement. The mechanical design was just as impressive. A steel-riveted frame carried the monster load, while 8 solid tires distributed the weight. Though it topped out at 6 miles per hour, the 196:1 gearing ratio meant it could tackle steep gradients without breaking a sweat. Oh, and the brakes? Operated through a combination of foot pedals, hand levers, and even a hefty screw mechanism for extra stopping power. Talk about over-engineering. Sadly, the 1950s saw these behemoths retired as newer technology took over, but their legacy lives on in museums where you can still admire the pioneering spirit of the Scamell 100-tonner. The 100-tonner was an engineering marvel of the late 1920s, but progress didn't stop there. Decades later, British engineering took on new challenges in efficiency and design. That's where the Leland road train comes into the picture, a truck that wasn't just about power, but also about sleek, modern innovation. Jumping forward to the 1980s, the Leland road train represented a bold new vision for British trucking. Part of the Leland T45 series, the road train was a response to rising competition from European manufacturers making waves in the lorry scene. Volvo, DAF, and Mercedes were all delivering vehicles with modern engineering, robust reliability, and driver comfort. Leland needed to adapt, and fast. The road train wasn't just about looks, though it did have a distinct aerodynamic shape that turned heads. It was designed using wind tunnel testing to reduce drag and improve efficiency. The modular C40 cab, built with interchangeable parts, allowed for easier repairs. Operators could swap out components like instrument panels and pedal boxes in mere minutes. This minimized downtime, which any fleet manager will tell you is invaluable. Under the hood, things got even more exciting. Powertrain options included the Cummins L10 and Rolls-Royce Eagle engines, with outputs of up to 350 brake horsepower. These engines delivered the grunt needed for long hauls, and the pairing with Eaton 12-speed gearboxes offered smooth, predictable performance. The road train was even competitive on the racetrack, with models like Gertie and Flo designed specifically for truck racing events. Who thought lorries could be sporty? Yet, despite its innovative design, the road train struggled with durability issues. While galvanization was introduced in later years to combat rusting cabs, earlier models had trouble gaining a foothold against premium competitors. By the 1990s, the road train evolved into the Leland DAF 80 series, marking the end of an era. Still, this truck holds a special place in the history of British trucking as a bold attempt to push the industry forward. The road train introduced cutting-edge technology and even flirted with racing. But the focus shifts dramatically with our next lorry. Built for functionality and sustainability, the Denby EcoLink took a completely different approach to redefine what a heavy vehicle could be. Fast forward yet again to a lorry that could have disrupted the entire industry had it been allowed on the road. The Denby EcoLink, known as the Super Lorry, is one of the most cutting-edge creations to come out of Britain's haulage sector. This 8-axle, 25.25-meter-long vehicle was designed to carry up to 60 tons, potentially replacing 3 standard articulated lorries. What's fascinating about the EcoLink is its B-double configuration. That's when a tractor hauls 2 semi-trailers, with the middle trailer incorporating an active steering system to maintain maneuverability. This computer-controlled system allowed the EcoLink to make tighter turns and negotiate roundabouts as efficiently as a shorter lorry. Fuel saving, reduced emissions, fewer chips on the road. The EcoLink promised it all. But here's the catch. Despite passing maneuverability trials and wowing engineers with its performance, the EcoLink hit a roadblock with the UK's Department for Transport. Legal weight and length limits meant it never got the green light for public roads. Frustrated with the red tape, Denby Transport even resorted to a brief test drive, which ended nearly as soon as it began. Vossa shut the trial down immediately, marking an end to the EcoLink's UK ambitions. However, it's not a total loss. The EcoLink is still road legal in the Netherlands, where more flexible regulations allow it to flourish. It's a bit bittersweet, isn't it? British ingenuity, but no British roads to call home. While the EcoLink showcased the promise of an environmental innovation, some vehicles were designed for a singular, unrelenting mission. When military muscle was needed in the 1970s, the Scamell Commander answered the call. Built specifically to transport tanks weighing up to 65 tons, this vehicle was a true heavyweight champion. The Commander's six-wheel drive and beefy suspension made it adept at tackling rough terrains, in deserts, snowfields, or anywhere in between. Central to its performance was the Rolls-Royce CV12 engine, a 525 brake horsepower powerhouse that proved reliable under even the toughest conditions. The Commander's design prioritized simplicity and ruggedness. Suspension components, for example, were heavy-duty yet easy for mechanics to service. Operators spent countless hours behind its imposing square cab, often facing demanding tasks in remote areas. Interestingly, the Commander became a symbol of British military engineering excellence. It served faithfully in various conflicts, ensuring that essential military hardware reached its destination. Even as more advanced vehicles emerged, the Scamell Commander's legacy as a workhorse and a symbol of resilience remains undisputed. Military-grade power is one thing, but back in the mid-20th century, practicality and reliability were the backbone of British industry. That brings us to the Atkinson Venturer, a lorry that quietly kept goods moving and proved you didn't need flair to leave a lasting impact. Known for its durability and no-nonsense design, it became a backbone of British road transport during the mid-20th century. Built for practicality and endurance, this lorry represented an era where reliability was king. Atkinson, founded in 1907, was a company that prided itself on crafting vehicles built to last, and the Venturer embodied that motto perfectly. Powered by trusty Gardner engines, known for their unmatched longevity, the Venturer could haul heavy loads day in, day out, without skipping a beat. Its simple, rugged chassis made it ideal for operators who needed something dependable for transporting goods across Britain's growing road network. But here's the thing about Atkinson. They weren't just about brute strength. They understood the value of efficiency. The Venturer featured straightforward engineering that kept maintenance costs low, a crucial factor for hauliers in the post-war years when margins were tight. Mechanics appreciated its logical layout, making repairs and servicing straightforward. Though the Venturer wasn't the star of its time, it delivered exactly what operators needed. No frills, no surprises, just solid, world-class reliability. Its contribution to Britain's economy, moving goods during a time of transformation, cannot be overstated. While Atkinson eventually merged into the Seddon Atkinson brand of the 1970s, the Venturer's legacy as a workhorse endures in the memories of hauliers who relied on it. From practicality to battlefield functionality, we now shift gears to the Alvish UniPower MH8875. This heavy-duty military transporter earned its stripes navigating some of the harshest terrains imaginable. Its mission? To ensure troops and equipment reached their destination, no matter the obstacles in its path. What made the MH8875 a standout vehicle? It was all about versatility. With its six-wheel drive and multi-axle configuration, this machine could power through muddy fields, snowy expanses, and even loose desert sands. Its design ensured payloads could be carried over rough landscapes with minimal trouble. Designed by UniPower before the Alvish merger in the 1970s, the MH8875 was part of a family of vehicles built to thrive under extreme conditions. Its robust engineering included a reinforced chassis and heavy-duty suspension, tailored for military use. It could haul everything from critical supplies to heavy weaponry and was often seen transporting field artillery or bridging equipment. An interesting feature? Its engine. The MH8875 typically housed a turbocharged diesel powerhouse that produced enough torque to pull tremendous loads across uneven ground while remaining efficient enough for long operations in the field. The vehicle wasn't just sturdy, it was also surprisingly adaptable. Variants with specialized equipment were created to meet specific military needs. Whether it was carrying engineering materials or towing stranded vehicles, this lorry could do it all. The Alvish UniPower MH8875 remained in service for decades, trusted as a lifeline by soldiers in far-flung hostile environments. Even today, it's celebrated for its durability and reliability. And speaking of perseverance, the Scaml S24 was built for some of the toughest conditions on Earth. Designed to endure the heat and challenges of desert oil fields, it proved British engineering could thrive in the harshest conditions. The Scaml S24 was a masterclass in heavy-duty innovation. If you've heard anything about oil exploration in the 1970s, chances are you've come across this lorry. Built to endure the most punishing environments, the S24 was designed specifically for the energy industry, particularly for use in the vast, unforgiving deserts of the Middle East. What set the S24 apart was its immense power and sturdy construction. This model came equipped with a Cummins 14-litre engine that delivered an impressive 335 brake horsepower. That might sound ordinary by today's standards, but for its time, this was a monumental leap in capability. Designed to haul drillage equipment and massive pipelines, the S24 had a modular configuration that allowed quick adaptations to handle varying jobs. Its off-road prowess was no accident. With its reinforced chassis and torque-heavy engine, it could carry colossal loads across the blistering heat and shifting surfaces of desert landscapes. The lorry's cooling systems were specifically designed to endure high temperatures, which made it reliable even in the most challenging conditions. One of the S24's most recognizable features was its imposing cab, built to tower over most vehicles on the road. This lorry projected raw power, and there's little doubt it commanded respect wherever it went. It wasn't just a vehicle, it was a tool of industrial expansion, representing British engineering on a global stage. Even years after its production, it stands as a testament to what can be achieved when engineering meets necessity. Sometimes the lorry's job wasn't just heavy work, but heavy hardware. The Thornycraft Antar, nicknamed the Mighty Antar, was a behemoth built to haul tanks and equipment, cementing its legacy as a vital post-war machine. The Thornycraft Antar wasn't just another lorry, it was practically a moving fortress. When it was introduced in the post-war period, its purpose was clear: to haul massive tanks and heavy military equipment across unforgiving terrains. And boy, did it deliver. Nicknamed the Mighty Antar, this beast earned its reputation as one of the most powerful heavy hauliers of its time. The heart of the Antar was the Rolls-Royce Meteor engine, which, fun fact, was originally developed for use in tanks like the Cromwell and Centurion during World War II. This meant the Antar wasn't just powered by any engine, it carried the soul of a war machine under its hood, producing unparalleled torque that could move some of the heaviest loads seen in the mid-20th century. With a carrying capacity of up to 50 tons for payloads or over 100 tons for specialized trailers, this Goliath wasn't joking around. Navigation, however, was another story entirely. Operating a Thornycraft Antar required skill and patience. Its multi-layered synchromesh transmission was famously complicated, and the lorry's size made maneuvering a challenge. Speeds topped out at about 20 miles per hour. But then again, speed wasn't the point. What it lacked in pace, it made up for in sheer muscle and durability. The Antar was a workhorse for the British Army, becoming an essential player in military operations well into the 1980s. From towing tanks to transporting critical equipment, it was often the unsung hero of logistical achievements. And its presence? Intimidating. Imagine a vehicle that looks like it could crush smaller lorries without flinching. Even today, the Thornycroft is a beloved relic. Some lucky collectors and enthusiasts have restored these machines, and seeing one up close is like stepping into a time capsule for British engineering might. By the 1990s, the industry had moved towards a balance of performance and comfort. The ERF EC series represented the next generation of haulage, where innovation meets the needs of drivers and operators alike. Fast forward a few decades to the 1990s, and the ERF EC series brought a modern touch to British hauling. ERF Lorries, named after its founder Edwin Richard Foden, had been a trusted name in the industry for decades. But the EC series marked an evolution, where practicality met comfort and technology in a way that lorry drivers and operators genuinely appreciated. The EC series was built to please both the people behind the wheel and the companies paying the bills. Take the engines, for example. ERF offered options like the Cummins M11 and the powerful 14-litre Cummins N14, delivering outputs of up to 500 brake horsepower. This made them reliable powerhouses for long hauls, perfect for heavy loads and demanding schedules. These lorries were also known for their excellent fuel efficiency, a crucial factor in keeping operational costs down. What set the EC series apart, though, was its focus on driver comfort. These lorries offered spacious, well-appointed cabs, complete with ergonomic seats, straightforward controls, and surprisingly good visibility. Long hours on the road could be grueling, but the EC series aimed to make those hours a little less painful. For fleet operators, the EC series represented versatility and dependability. These lorries were designed to handle everything, from regional transportation to large-scale heavy-duty hauling. ERF lorries were known for their modular design, and the EC series continued that tradition. Maintenance and repairs were simplified, meaning less downtime and happier mechanics. Plus, they had a distinctive look. The clean, boxy lines gave the EC series a no-nonsense appearance, not flashy, but undeniably dependable. Although ERF eventually became part of MAN Truck and Bus in the early 2000s, the EC series remains a milestone in British lorry manufacturing. It showed that performance and comfort didn't have to be mutually exclusive, and it helped cement ERF's legacy as a brand that understood the needs of drivers and operators alike. Before we wrap up, we're taking a step back to World War II with the Foden heavy gun tractor, a vehicle that embodied resilience, reliability, and a touch of wartime ingenuity. Designed specifically for military use, this tractor played a crucial role in keeping the war effort moving. Whether it was hauling heavy artillery or transporting troops and supplies, the Foden proved that it could handle the pressures of war. At its core, the Foden heavy gun tractor was built ruggedly enough for the military's toughest jobs. It featured a thoroughly tested diesel engine, and its robust frame could bear the weight of towing massive field guns like the 5.5-inch howitzers and 17-pounders. What's more, the winch mounted on the rear of the tractor was a lifesaver, both literally and figuratively, as it assisted in recovering stuck vehicles and moving heavy artillery into position. Driving the heavy gun tractor was a unique experience. The vehicle's transmission system was as straightforward as it was functional, designed to minimize breakdowns even under harsh conditions. And speaking of conditions, the tractor was built to endure everything from muddy fields to snowy terrains, showing its adaptability and durable construction. Foden wasn't satisfied with making just a beastly machine. They made sure functionality met simplicity. The cab offered the essentials, focusing on practicality over comfort. After all, luxuries weren't exactly a priority during wartime. Soldiers operating these vehicles would likely tell you that climbing into the cab felt more like stepping into a workbench on wheels. The heavy gun tractor continued to serve even in the years following the war, repurposed for other demanding tasks. Foden's commitment to quality engineering ensured these vehicles remained relevant and useful long after their intended military service. And while Foden's civilian lorries would later gain significant acclaim in the haulage industry, the heavy gun tractor reminds us that its history is rooted in aiding efforts far beyond commercial logistics.